Hey guys, this is Zonis, and I had this thought-provoking idea about black holes and how it pertains to us in particular. Now, there was this program that I saw a couple days ago that was talking about the Stephen Hawking paradox. Now, for those of you who do not know what the Stephen Hawking paradox is, it's about the theory of black holes and that information, once it gets sucked into the black hole, that it never disperses out. It never comes out again. And then after which, when the black hole ceases to exist, that information is lost. Now, there was a person back in the 80s that he considers himself as a rival to Stephen Hawking's theory, Leonard Susskind, and he had this idea that information that goes against all physics of any magnitude, high, big or small, quantum or massive, in that scale, in terms of information being lost. So he was trying to figure out for X amount of years. I don't know how many years quite exactly. I want to say at least 15 or more. Quote me wrong. I don't know. But he had this idea that one day when he was walking through one of his, campuses or whatever, and he walked down this hall and he saw a hologram image. Now, usually to a regular person, that's kind of entertaining at first, and you're just like, oh, that's kind of cool. You look at it from different angles, and you can see different parts of information being revealed almost as a three-dimensional space, but it's on a two-dimensional plane. And he had this idea, this light bulb, that you will, that the information that usually would be sucked into black holes is actually retained into the event horizon as though it was like a hologram. So whereas you would find regular information that was on three-dimensional scale and four-dimensional scale, which is time, that it's retained in that event horizon but is thinned out onto a two-dimensional plane as though you would see on a hologram. Now, it seems like an interesting and thought-provoking idea, and it made me think of an idea about us. Now, if that's true, if that theory is true, what would that say about our galaxy in particular? You hear people say, and scientists say that the very middle of our Milky Way galaxy is a supermassive black hole. Now, if that's true, then what does that say about the event horizon surrounding that area, which is our galaxy? Would that be, would we ourselves be considered remnants of previous information, or are we information from a different source? These were ideas that just came up to that made me think, whoa, wait a minute, what does that say about us, Because you see scientists saying how they're trying to figure out how big or how small the universe is. Is it finite? Is it in a certain space, or is it infinite? And it goes in all directions. In different sizes and shapes, and cells and no cells, and it just, it gets even more and more and more deeper and complicated than we could, the usual human being could probably understand about the universe. But the thing is, going back to my idea and thought that provoked me the most was, if it is true according to Suskind's idea of information being retained at the event horizon and being perceived as a hologram, then would that say then that we ourselves are possibly remnants of previous information? Now, I know that some of you may think that that's a terrible, god-awful idea, and it probably is, but you could look at it from both or two different perspectives. You could look at it from a religious view, where it says that we came from from intelligent design, which scientists hate more than anything and will try to deny more than anything about. But there are some people out there in the world that believe in it, and I myself believe in intelligent design. And there's others who believe that the universe keeps recycling itself. So, you could take it either way. But the idea that I'm trying to point out is that we keep going, we're ongoing, even though that we're born and that we die. It seems as though that we somehow are recycled into this life, and and know that that kind of goes against my religious beliefs, and it, borderlines, different other religious beliefs as well. But it's so interesting to note about all that, because all these previous civilizations, like whether you look at Aztec or Mayan, or if you look at Indian, from India, their beliefs and stuff like that. Some of these tribes and nomad peoples and Native Americans believe that the Earth has lived and died like 5 times before, and that almost kind of correlates to the idea of what my theory is about us in particular. So I don't know. It was just an idea. I thought that I just had to explore and to let it all out, because I felt like this was an opportunity for other people to get that thought process in their heads, even though that you're possibly not, maybe not really into the scientific field. I mean, I for one am not really that science savvy. I mean, I'm a fine arts major, so I know it's probably a stupid idea, maybe, but who knows? Maybe somebody else has already looked into that department and I just didn't know, or that they haven't discovered it yet, or if someone is on the verge of making a theory or a regular mathematical theorem based on this idea. And if you could give me like a comment, or you know maybe some tips, maybe something that correlates to this idea that popped in my head about Leonard Suskind's idea of holograms and information being retained in black holes, then just comment below, and I hope it wishes you the best for these comments. Thanks, guys. Later.